We're jeeping. Let's find some traction. There we go. Oh, that looked pretty awesome. And let's drop it down the hill here. Nice smooth control with the worm axles. We've been absolutely flooded with SCX24s, and some of us have begged and even demanded that Axial give us an SCX18. However, Axial said, no, we're gonna give you an even smaller scale crawler, the SCX30. And after looking at these two, I'm not mad. These are pretty awesome, guys. Let's take a closer look. Right out of the gate, RC drivers, I'm gonna hit you with the price, $99.99. And from what I'm seeing here, yeah, it's absolutely worth $100. Whether you're just gonna crawl it on your desktop in your living room, or maybe you take it on a little adventure outside in front of your house, these things are super cool. So yes, there is a Jeep. However, they've given us a Bronco too. Check out what's in the box. So obviously you get the assembled truck here, but you also get the SLT2 radio system, AA batteries for that, battery charger, some decals, instruction sheets, and even a breakdown quick start guide, and some additional accessories here. So it looks like we could take off the roof rack if we want to, lighten things up a little bit, put these inserts in. They also give us some additional fender flares. Look like there's some clearance on those as well. So I already give you options out of the box. Now let's take a closer look at this little Jeep. And I took the Bronco out of the box too. I wasn't gonna leave you Ford guys hanging, but check out these tiny little trucks. I mean, they fit perfectly in the palm of my hand. These are very cool. And these are hard bodies, guys. So that means we've got a lot of details in these, all the way down to indented lines for the doors. I like that they went and finished the roof in a matte black on the Bronco. They've got a couple different colors for each. The mojito green for the Jeep and white. I don't remember the Jeep color, if they had a specific color for the white, but they also have this gray and a blue for the Bronco. I don't know the specific colors of that. Let me know in the comments below if you know the exact colors of these, but wow, look at all of the detail. I just can't get over it, especially all the Overland accessories that we've got on the Jeep here. So sand ramps, do the ramps actually come off? Does this twist? Let's see, it does twist. That means these sand ramps could come off. That's very cool for something this small. Yeah, those come off, guys. I'm not gonna take it off because it's gonna be hard to get back on probably on camera, but look at this. We got shovels on the side and they actually snap out. Axe storage bins on the top, the roto packs on the side, light bar in the front. These don't light up, however, it does have LED lights in it, and they're supposedly pretty bright, has tail lights as well. So yeah, this thing is completely loaded, completely detailed, clear windows, tinted so you get a killer look, spare tire on the back, actual size. And let's check out the Bronco, just all the details you'd expect. The mirrors on the side, the guides on the hood, spare tire on the back. You know, we don't get the accessories with this one, but still looks pretty cool. There's Yokohama Geolandar tires on the Jeep and Mickey Thompson Baja Boss tires on the Bronco. So basically right out of the box, there are tire options. So if you pick up this one, you could swap over these tires onto if you want to. 18 millimeter wheels. The wheel and tire setup looks really good. I think they actually have a soft insert in here. These are glued on, so no bead locks, but definitely spot on in the scale department. Now let's see how you get the body off. I think it just pulls up in the front. There we go, and it slides off in the back. So yeah, there's those clips in the front, tab in the back. This just slides into this rear bumper. There's the pegs on the front shock tower. So really easy to access the battery. The SCX30, obviously a brand new platform from Axial, and an interesting one at that. Look at that, that's a transverse mounted motor, servo on axle, high clearance links. Looks like they did their homework, guys. So starting off with the chassis. Looks like a one-piece composite chassis, and I like the shape of it. Very interesting. Definitely looks like it's braced well. It's got a lot of holes, so you could go and move the shock position. That's pretty awesome. And then down here on the bottom, check this out. It's got a 9.5 degree departure angle on that skid, so you got plenty more clearance. The battery is actually mounted over here on the side pod. It's got a rubber strap to hold it down, and on the opposite side, that is your electronics, so it looks like it's pretty well balanced. Let's do a little torsional flex test here. Not too much, just a little flex in the front and adding a little bit more pressure. And I don't think it'll ever have this much exerted on it, but yeah, not too much twist. And I like these little clips here that they have just to kind of clip in the wires so those don't bounce around. And let's take a look at the suspension next. So we do have friction, well, not friction dampers because they're grease-filled shocks. So it gives it some damping. It's not just gonna be like a spring pogo stick on you like the early SCX24s were. We got some actual damping on these, and look at this, guys. Nice smooth movement on this. Up front, it's just got a straight link setup, and then in the rear, it's got the high clearance link. So yeah, look at that. Plenty of room in the back of this rig. And because the servo's on the axle, don't have to worry about any bump steer or axle sway. Take a closer look at these links. You got definitely plenty of clearance. We've got metal ball studs in there, and a little flex on those as well. But again, guys, for such a small rig, I doubt you're really going to notice that. But what I really like is that ability to move your shock angles right out of the box. That's pretty cool. Into the driveline. I mean, there's not a ton of stuff to go over on this, but it's some pretty exciting stuff. The transmission. So yeah, a transverse mounted motor, and inside they've got worm gears, full ball bearings, metal worm gears, so it reduces that torque twist. And then they've got tiny little wild bore drive shafts that go down to the front and rear straight axles, ball bearings inside, worm gears again. And look at the shape of the axle, guys. I mean, it's nice and smooth, so it's just got to glide over any obstacles that you're crawling on. A little protection in the rear for that drive shaft. What do we got up front for the internal axle? Looks like it's the dog bone and cup style like we've seen on the SCX24. The outside steering knuckle, that looks pretty bulky. Simple steering links, and it does have a servo saver built in from the factory. So let's check out these tiny electronics, starting off with this ultra small steering servo. What is this? A SX112. So yeah, that's a small actually the motor's hanging out of the side on that, but yeah, tiny little servo. You guys have probably seen this already. The 88 turn motor, that tiny little 88 turn motor that's been powering our SCX24s, I think has finally found the proper home in this 1/30th scale. I think this is where this belongs. I think it's probably gonna power this perfectly. And then next to it here is your receiver speed controller combo. Look how small this setup is. Right here on the side plate, that's where you plug in your battery and all your connections. But wow, that thing is super. Oh no, look at that. That's a standard size plug for the servo, so that's pretty awesome. But yeah, the rest of it, micro plugs for your LED lights, and then the battery pack. It is 160 milliamp 2S 7.4 volt LiPo 30C. That is super tiny, but at least we got, you know, plugs that we're used to from the SCX24, so that makes things a little better if you already have a charger on hand. But guys, this is super awesome. Like, I am totally excited about this rig because, you know, wintertime, indoor crawling is where it's at. And this is something you could do right on your desk, right on your kitchen table, or again, take it outside. So let's see how well this little rig crawls. All right, guys, we're hitting the reservoir today with the Bronco SCX30. It's actually going to take me some time to get used to that because I'm so used to saying SCX24. But look at that, the on-off switch right there on the bottom, easy to access, and we're up and running. Let's do some crawling. This spot has some nice, smooth, flowing rocks, so I think it's going to be perfect for this scale truck. Do a little drop down the hill here. Looking good, nice, smooth, slow movements. Now we'll switch things up and do the uphill with the Jeep. You guys know I had to get the Jeep. I drive a Jeep Gladiator, so the Wrangler, it works for me. And it is working on this uphill climb, guys. Look at this. Just brute force with this tiny little rig. I think I've got a pretty good line picked out here to show you guys the suspension at work. I did go ahead, pull apart one of those shocks just to see what was inside. And they say grease filled, but I didn't see much grease in there. It kind of looked like oil to me, but it definitely looks like you could add grease to it, and that will help damp the screw basically that's in there. The head of the screw acts as the piston. But yeah, it looks nice and scale. It's working, it's not bouncing around. Look at this, guys. This is a lot of fun. Can't believe it, that leaf right there is actually an obstacle for this. It crawled up and over it. That was funny. Look at this, guys. This is awesome. Just finding some lines. Nice slow crawl through everything. I want to walk you guys through the throttle feel next. I've got this steep incline in front of me, and I don't have to add too much throttle to keep that forward progression. Get a little tire slip there because I got sand on the tires. Oh, look at this. We're jeeping. Let's find some traction. There we go. Oh, that looked pretty awesome. Another incline in front of us. Little Rubicon Trail action in Connecticut. So let's check out the steering. I'm gonna go full lock. And I think that's pretty good for the scale of this rig. It seems to be a little tighter, which is pretty good. Now there's actually a servo saver built into that steering horn. Basically there's an O-ring behind the screw. So I think if you want to tighten up the feel of your steering, you can get rid of that. And if you do back off on it, it just doesn't center that well. So just be aware of that. And of course, if you get rid of the servo saver, you have the chance of maybe stripping out those plastic gears. Tell me this does not look like fun. A little tire slip. Just roll into the throttle a little more. Pretty impressive. One of the things I want to talk to you guys about is one, a better buy. And it seems like the Jeep has a lot more cool scale accessories, and there's some that come with the Bronco as well. But the Bronco also comes with like side plates and stuff that you could add to the chassis if you want to swap out the electronics later on down the road. So if you're looking to build up one of these, the Bronco might be the better choice. Little brake over test right here. And we got some hang up. Oh, able to brake free. Now we're just gonna plant that front tire into this rock, see if we go through this little gap. Gonna have to walk it through. Oh man, that was awesome. This little rig is pretty capable, guys. And you guys need to see full speed, so there it is. That's full throttle. So this is definitely a pick a spot and stay there and enjoy the crawl type of truck. The SCX30 definitely has my approval for some outdoor fun. I'm having a blast with this, guys. Just low-key driving. Enjoying the look of this truck. And it's capable. It is absolutely capable for its small size. Yeah, that 88 turn motor has found a home here. It may not be an SCX18, but for $100, you are getting a tiny, well-detailed rig that is super capable, and I think there's some serious value here, guys. I think these are just gonna fly off of the shelves at the hobby store. If you're an online shopper, I'll have a link in the video description for you. Please use it, it helps me out here on the channel. And yeah, if you pick one of these up, let me know what you think. I am blown away by it, and I wanna know if you are too.